Hello everyone, my name is Colin and this is Colin Talks Crypto, and in this third episode of moving to Puerto Rico, pardon the excessive wind, I'm literally on a rock in the middle of a gorgeous beach in Puerto Rico. I'm going to be bringing you an update on moving to Puerto Rico because I'm actually here and I'm checking it out with my own two eyes. Thank you for joining me. All right, so we're moving to Puerto Rico because of the tax savings when it comes to capital gains and cryptocurrencies. And that particular act in Puerto Rico is called Act 22. And I want 0% taxes, and so we are moving to Puerto Rico because of that reason. It is no longer a matter of if, but a matter of when, because we already looked at houses, we have picked one out, and we are going to be moving here. So the first thing I want to cover is some legal things. First of all, I'm not an expert, I'm not a lawyer. Do not take anything I say to be tax advice or legal advice. I'm not a professional. That being said, I called a lawyer, and my understanding of what I was told, and this is just for my own benefit, was that Act 22, now previously I thought that Act 22 started the day that you actually started a lease here. And that may or may not be correct. It may actually be better than that. Because when you apply for Act 22 and you qualify for Act 22, per what I was told by a lawyer in Puerto Rico who specializes in dealing with Act 22 cases, when you get approved for it, your tax benefits start January 1st of the year in which you had over 183 days living and residing in Puerto Rico. Now to me that was a big whoa moment, because I thought that it started the moment you sign your lease. And as far as crypto goes, we're still relatively at the bottom of the next bull run, which is fine with me. But when he said that January 1st, 2019 is when gains would be taxed at 0%, that blew my mind. And I took a quick look at the charts, and sure enough, the charts back up the fact that January 1st, the crypto market was even lower than it is now. So in fact, even more of my gains would be taxed at 0%. So that was another amazing plus point and reason for moving here. So we have checked out various parts of the island, and we actually just went snorkeling. That's why I'm wearing this mask. It also gives me an awesome place to clip my microphone onto, so it worked out. But we've been looking for places to live, and we checked out a couple different areas. And so we have not checked out the whole island. I think we had 4 or 5 days total to look around. And so I focused my time and energy on places that looked probable and looked like good places for us to live. Your circumstances may be very different. Now, again, based on the fact that if this is true, that 0% tax gain starts January 1st, you do have to be here 183 days of the tax year. And there are 210 days left of 2019. So if you're gonna move, you have to move frickin' quick. And I am getting my ass in gear. So I am picking out a house, I'm getting ready to move my stuff down here, and I'm gonna make damn sure that I'm here for 183 days this year so that I qualify for 0% capital gains on my taxes for crypto gains. Because if I miss this year, it starts January 1st of next year. That's my current understanding. And I do not wanna see where the market is by January 1st of 2020, because I have a strong feeling it's going to be doing a lot better than it is right now. So I want to lock in that, it's almost like retroactive, that January 1st, 2019 position of my crypto holdings and gains I've made since then will be then taxed at 0%. And that's why I'm doing this as a very, very urgent call to action for myself. It really, really comes down to, after I've seen this island, it comes down to how much crypto do you have and how impactful is it going to be on your lifestyle? Really, that's what it comes down to. So I'm going to cover a couple things in this video, everything from the food to the people to the areas we visited to price ranges and things like that. And again, this was as good as I could do in about a 4-day period. And I got to shift here because the water is literally splashing on me. I'm sitting next to the rocks here. Okay, so we visited about 4 different areas, 3 or 4 different areas. So I'm going to go from east to west, and this is all on the north part of the island. I have not seen places like Rincon, which is like a surfer place on the southwest part of the island. I haven't checked it out. I haven't checked out any of the South Island, I haven't checked out the center of the island, and I haven't checked out the East Coast. Because for my intensive purposes, I wanted to be located near San Juan. In the event that another hurricane should happen, I want to be in one of those places that gets power back quickly. And most houses do have generators, but I just want to be near sort of the heart of the island. Then I'm closer to where power gets back on more quickly. And so I deem that to be basically San Juan is the #1 place you want to be if you want to be close to getting your power back on quickly. And then Dorado is a place you'll get power back on within 2 to 3 days in the event of a massive hurricane like we had a couple years ago. And so I started in the north part of the island, closer to the heart of the city. But by all means, check out the places that suit you as well. So from east to west on the north part of the island, we started at Isla Verde. And Isla Verde, we checked out an apartment. It was about the 10th floor, looking out over the city, a little bit of the ocean. Be very careful when you look at the words of the apartments and the condominiums, because they use different terms. Like ocean view does not mean you're right there on the ocean. It means you can view the ocean from however far away, perhaps from between other buildings, like you can get a glimpse of the ocean. So ocean view means you can get in some way a glimpse of the ocean. Ocean front is what you're looking for if you want to be on the ocean. That means you literally open up your doors, you're at the ocean, or you're viewing directly on the ocean with no obstructions in front of you. So that was some important words we learned when looking for a place to live. If you want to have a direct view, go for ocean front. Or if it'll say city view, if it's viewing back to the city, etc. Right now we're walking through Isla Verde. I think it's a somewhat expensive part of town. In my opinion, not super nice. It's a little bit dilapidated, like the other things we've been seeing. But we're on our way to check out another property. So honestly, that city wasn't for me. Isla Verde, it wasn't quite what I was looking for. And I'm going to tell you what I'm looking for, because again, your needs may differ from mine, and maybe that would be perfect for you. So I have personal needs that necessitate at least 3,000 square feet, first of all. That's a little challenging to find at a reasonable price in the city. So my minimum is about 3,000 square feet. And I need like 3 bedrooms. I can't do with 2 bedrooms, etc. So I have some above and beyond needs than your typical small apartment building. And to get what I was looking for in the city, it would have easily surpassed $7,000 per month of rent. And at this point in time, I'm not looking to spend that much because I haven't had that much time to look around and really find where I want to plant myself. So I kept my price range below $5,000 per month. Again, your needs may vary based on your situation and what you're looking for. So like if you're a single guy and you just want a place to move down here real quick and you don't need that much square feet, like you need 1,000, 1,500 square feet, you can definitely find a place anywhere from Isla Verde to Condado, which is a little more west of Isla Verde. So for me, Isla Verde, it wasn't where I'd like to live because it was very congested, kind of dilapidated, run down buildings, broken down, not the newest architecture. I like to live in a place that I'm proud to live in. So for me, Isla Verde wasn't my pick. However, if you like the nightlife and you want some bars right on the beachfront, quick beach access right below where you're living, you don't need that much square feet, and you can afford $4,000, $3,500 a month, you could probably find something right there in Isla Verde. Moving west, Condado. We didn't spend a whole lot of time in Condado. It was nicer, and so I suspect it was also more expensive for a similar type thing, and beautiful buildings and just that nicer feel. But again, I don't like the congestedness of the city. It's really like bumper to bumper sometimes. It's crazy driving around here. I'll get into all that. The potholes are everywhere. It's quite a crazy change from where I'm used to in Florida. And from what I gather, Condado is where a lot of the crypto people go. I did see a lot of younger people there. So again, it's great for a young person, nightlife, excitement, bars, etc. I'm not a big drinker, so I don't value the bars that much. I stay away from that kind of thing. I think it is very cool how there's lots of crypto people there. So if you want to step it up a notch from Isla Verde, I'd recommend checking out Condado, especially if you don't need, 3,000 square feet like I do. So moving on west, we have San Juan and then Old San Juan. And we drove through that one day and checked it out. Old San Juan's very beautiful. It's got beautiful older architecture, a lot of class, a lot of sophistication. Again, a fairly cramped lifestyle. It's not quite the lifestyle I would like to live. I like a little more space, I think. And again, that comes with the 3,000 square feet. I like a little bit of a backyard, that kind of thing. And it's very expensive in Old San Juan. So for me, that ruled it out. Make a great day vacation place, but not somewhere where I want to live. So traveling west, now this is where it gets really interesting for me, is Dorado. And people like Peter Schiff live in Dorado. I drove right by where he lives. I had the same real estate person that he had, so she showed me all the houses she's sold and that kind of thing. Beautiful area. We're talking like $5 million and up homes in that area. So that wasn't quite something I was personally looking for. Now I'm going to break down Dorado for you, and I'm going to put it on the right side of the screen here. So Dorado is this area right here, and it's broken into West Dorado, so that's Dorado Beach. Dorado Beach is the western half of Dorado, and then there's East Dorado. East Dorado, again, was dilapidated, not quite as nice, definitely less expensive, lots of people living there. It just wasn't quite suitable for me. I felt like I wanted something a little nicer. You definitely could find something in any square footage there, and all sorts of varieties of house types. Again, the potholes everywhere in the streets, a little run down, a little dilapidated. That was East Dorado. Personally, I don't recommend East Dorado because I wanted something a little bigger, a little nicer. So on to Dorado Beach, which is Western Dorado. So East Dorado Beach is where the super wealthy go. That is literally the nicest place on the entire island, the most wealthy and the most expensive. Huge mansions, huge houses, huge resorts. The Ritz-Carlton is there with expensive hotel rooms, beautiful beaches. It is literally the best place of the entire island. And so that's your variety of options there. You really can't find anything in East Dorado Beach for less than $5,000. It starts at like $6,000, $7,000, on up to $25,000, depending on how close you want to get to the beach. And that's just the kind of lifestyle it is there. And it's, again, it's beautiful, it's very gorgeous, but that's not quite for me at this point in time. Maybe when crypto goes to the millions, then yeah, we'll go there. That's my recap of the different places we visited in Puerto Rico. Again, there's many different places to choose from. I hope that helped you narrow down your choices of what you're looking for. Now, what I recommend you do when you come here is I recommend that you find a couple of real estate brokers. They have no MLS system here, so there is no centralized database for finding real estate. It does make it a little trickier. And the way you do it is you go to a couple of websites. I think it's pointtohomes.com, and there's another one, and I'm going to put them in the description below. And those are two good websites for searching for real estate, whether you want to lease or whether you want to buy in Puerto Rico. So start with those. And I was given some advice I found very useful. So when you're looking through those, so narrow down to an area you want to live in, for example, West Dorado Beach or East Dorado. Zoom in on that area and then find what you want to lease or buy in your price range and your square footage, and take note of the realtors involved. And what you'll notice is that there are certain realtors that are dominating certain areas. And when you see a certain name come up more common than another name, that particular realtor has more knowledge of that area. And so what you should do is get in contact with that realtor or that real estate agency and have them schedule a time to show you around areas, because they're going to know a lot of houses because you've already seen on the map on the website that they have a lot of houses. So that was a good way to find out what to do when there is no MLS system. You use those two websites as your clues, and then you hone in on the particular real estate agent from that point. And I think you can really figure out just about anything from there. We originally were planning on actually just driving from neighborhood to neighborhood to look with our own two eyes. We thought maybe we'll find for sale signs or for rent signs in the neighborhoods, and we can just buy a house or rent a house that way. And it turns out almost every single neighborhood, at least in Dorado, is a gated community. You cannot gain access to these neighborhoods. We tried, like 4 different guards had us turn around and go away. We could not gain access. Half of them hand us a business card to a realtor. So you can get in when you have a realtor on your side. So what we did is we had a realtor drive us around, and then we got access to all the different gated communities, and we could see it for ourselves. So you definitely want to have a realtor show you around, and they know the area so well, and they're very friendly and very helpful. So that's a tip as well. Find a realtor to show you around, otherwise you're not going to get access. These guards and these gated communities are not going to let you in. And that's actually a good thing, because when you live there, you don't want just anyone coming in your neighborhood, and they will turn them away just like they turned us away. And they'll turn you away very friendly, but they will not let you in. All right, so that covers all that. Now, as far as living conditions, as being an American, I would say it's a step down. I mean, just to be blunt, it's a step down. It's not quite as nice. And again, it depends on where you go. But you also have to keep in mind what you want to have next to you. The water's like splashing in my face here as I do this video. Do you want to have shopping malls near you? Do you want to have good grocery stores? What kind of stores are there? There's a lot of familiar American restaurants like Chili's or Outback Steakhouse or Starbucks, various malls, Best Buy. You have all these things. I couldn't find a Whole Foods, and I like to eat healthy, so that was a downer. But you do get access to Amazon shipments, which is a huge plus, and things like that. So you have a lot of the same amenities that you have in America, but they're not necessarily as close to you if you're in Dorado, for example, as you would be in America. So just things to keep in mind. You might be living a little further away. And when I say a little further, I mean 30 minutes of a drive, something like that, to your nearest restaurant or place that you want to buy food at. There's also islands like Culebra, which are extremely fancy, and you can take a ferry from the main island over, and you can do things like snorkeling on that island. I think one of my viewers is actually going there, and I can't wait to check that out. That sounds really exciting. We didn't have time to take the ferry over to Culebra because we only had a couple days here. Also, check this out. There's parasailer guys who surf. I'm going to zoom in on this. Let me flip the camera around here. So these guys, we walked over there, they're actually surfing and pulling themselves along the water with this parasail. Seems pretty cool. I'm going to try that out. Alright guys, I know this has been a long video, so I'm going to try to quickly cover the last remaining topics. So again, potholes everywhere. I took this video to show you the parking lot of a movie theater we visited, and as you can see, it's just got these giant fucking potholes right in the middle of the road. Unfortunately, the roads are not in the best shape, so here's an example of some of the potholes you might run into. You have to be careful basically everywhere you drive. The roads are a little crazy, the drivers are a little crazy. Everyone kind of makes up their own rules. The conclusion I came to at the end of this trip after driving is you start with the basis of American driving rules, and then you give priority to anyone who looks like they're going to violate that. Because you might have the right of way, but he's going first, and that's just how it is. Also, the first day we got here, we drove through San Juan, I think it was downtown, looking for a restaurant, and the power was out the first day. I'm like, is this normal? I had no idea. And so the power was completely out, and the street lights were out, and there was everyone in the streets in their cars and just making up their own rules. Like 2 cars would go this way, and then it would pause, and then 14 cars would go this way, and then you might get your turn 5 minutes later, and you just had to be aggressive. You have to be like a dominant driver and just stick your nose out there. Be bold. Don't be a chicken, or you're not going to get anywhere in Puerto Rico. So potholes beware. And sometimes you can't even tell where the lane starts, where the lane ends. Sometimes there's no lines in the road. Again, it's a testament to the a bit dilapidated nature of the country. I think the government, unfortunately, has abused money here to the point where the people, they're good people, they just don't have the funds to repair things. And so things fall apart. And that's really unfortunate. So on to the food. The food here is amazing. So if you like Puerto Rican food, you'll love it here. The first day we got here, we went to a restaurant called Avocado. Highly recommended. Amazing food. It was our first food here. Couldn't go wrong by going there. Such amazing, the best tostones I've ever had in my whole life, which is basically a smashed green plantain, salted like a chip, but a little chewy on the inside. So amazing. We had dipping sauces, so good. Steak, so good. Highly recommend Avocado. Took some pictures here to show you what we had. And actually, the experience I had with every restaurant was that the food was amazing. Basically, every restaurant we went to had delicious, delicious meals. So if you're a foodie like me, you're going to be happy. Even the Chinese was better than some of the Chinese food. I didn't expect to have Chinese here. It was better than some of the Chinese in America. And the people are very friendly. So, like for example, we went to this little breakfast cafe to get some food, and I took a picture of what we ate there. I'll show you right here. And while we were trying to order, the lady didn't speak English. She spoke very little, and she was friendly about this. She's like, I only speak very little English. I'm like, me too, I speak very little Spanish. And then a man standing right next to us started helping translate. And he was super friendly, and we got the order done. It was no problem. And I asked what he did for a living, and he was a police officer. He was like the nicest police officer I've ever met. Struck up a conversation. He asked where we wanted to live, what we were doing, and he gave us his phone number. And so I have his phone number. He said, call me if you need anything. I mean, what police officer does that in the States? You know, I've never gotten a police officer's phone number that offered to help me with anything. And this was Sunday, it's Mother's Day, and he was just offering to help because he was a nice guy. So it's a testament to show you the friendliness. You know, it's a very hybrid culture. That's another thing I wanted to touch upon. It's a very hybrid culture. Spanish-based, a lot of Spanish influence and Spanish-speaking, and then a lot of English-speaking and English-based as well. And it's mixed throughout the culture. So like you go to see a movie and the ads are in Spanish, and you can't understand the ads if you don't speak Spanish, but then the movie's in English, but then there's Spanish subtitles. And so it's quite a mix, quite an interesting mix. And that's really what our experience was throughout the island. Whether it's a restaurant and there's a Spanish menu and on the other side's an English menu, or maybe it's translated on one side. But basically it's a very hybrid English-Spanish type culture. And I never really had a problem. You know, you can always get by. I don't speak almost any Spanish, and the people were very friendly and able to translate if there was an English-speaking person nearby. And most people do speak enough English to help you get by. And so you can figure it out. It's not really ever been a total problem. I think the weirdest thing was when we parked in a parking garage, and normally in America you would just put your card in the gate and the gate would lift and you'd leave, but here you had to actually go into a whole nother building, go pay a guy with cash or credit card in person, get your parking pass approved, and then go back, and then you're able to leave the gate. Again, little things like that were very strange. And when you're downtown, parking is a little challenging. Everything's gated. You have to be going to a restaurant and then you get access to that gate. So it's a little tricky. I didn't care for the downtown. If you're in a car, it's tricky downtown. Okay, good. So we covered the driving, we covered the food, we covered the people, the language. Yeah, guys, I think really the important thing is you got to come down here and check it out and then find a place to live. Do like we did and just come down here for like 5 days, 7 days, and just make everything happen. You can do so. I think it's worth it. Again, you have to balance out how much your crypto stash is worth to you and whether you feel it's worth making a lifestyle change. And here's a question that I actually asked myself and might paint a picture for you. So, would I move to Puerto Rico if they did not have the benefits of 0% capital gains with Act 22? And I thought about this, and my answer is no, I actually would not. Because it is a little bit of a hit. You're taking a little bit of a hit as far as the amenities and the conveniences and some of the nicenesses that you do experience in America. And again, if you have enough money, you can make those things happen too in Puerto Rico. But it is a lifestyle change, and it's not quite as nice in some places. But it does become worth it, and it does tip the scale in favor of moving here when you add that Act 22 in, or if you're a business owner, that Act 20 in to get down to 4% business tax on your income. So that becomes then worthwhile because it is absolutely a beautiful place. I mean, look at it here. I'm sitting on the rocks on the middle of an island and a beach and looking at paragliders. I mean, it's a tropical paradise. And so what you have to do is come here and make it your home and just make sure you live in the right place. As our real estate person said, one of the common mistakes, and take note of this, that new people coming to Puerto Rico for Act 22 make is that they pick the wrong area to live in. They might not realize they're living in an area that could be gang affiliated. And it's not that the gangs are going to come after you, it's that you might get caught in the crossfire or be the adverse side effect of some other gang activity. And so you just don't want to pick that kind of a neighborhood. And that would be west of Dorado, like to the west side, like beyond Dorado completely. In those neighborhoods, you just don't want to get mixed up in the wrong place. So get a good real estate person, like I told you how to find a safe place, move here, benefit from Act 22, and ride that crypto wave all the way up to the next bull run, which is going to be freaking huge, guys, and enjoy the benefits of 0% tax. I cannot emphasize how excited and pumped I am about the next bull run. We are already seeing a $7,000 Bitcoin, and the trading volumes are surpassing the trading volumes at the last bull run peak. I mean, if that doesn't blow your freaking mind, I don't know what will, guys. The next bull run is going to dwarf the last bull run in every shape and form, from volume to price, across the board. Make the right moves now, guys. Safeguard your future. That's what I'm doing. Don't say I didn't warn you. Have a great day, guys. Take care. This is El Yunque National Park in Puerto Rico. As you can see, Puerto Rico has a lot of different types of climates and plant life. All right, we are here in Puerto Rico checking out all the beaches. So I'm going to give you a pan view of this particular beach in Dorado. This is on the north central part of the island. It's sort of like a picnic beach area, beautiful water. Anyways, looks very, very nice. We're still looking for a place to live.
Oh my God.
Thank you. It's hot.
Oh. Yes, wow, thank you.
Oh, I just saw a little snail. Look at that guy. The sea life is rich in Puerto Rico.